All right, so I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog, and I don't believe in tempting fate or examining things too closely, but there's a lot of malarkey that's going around, and I just want to let you know a couple things about it, okay? First off, dogs don't have a fear of death. Secondly, dogs, they're not very, whatever you would say, sentimental. They don't got too much sentimentality. You know, I had a buddy. He was a pretty good, smart friend, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, he thought everyone was supposed to stop in the road for him. He's a really smart dog. He could do it all. He could track. He loved squirrels like myself. That's how we ran around together, you know what I'm saying? But, he'd like to chase the bunnies. I like to chase anything and chase turkey, chase deer. I was a squirrel dog. He was like a chase anything dog, and I mostly liked the squirrels. He was really smart. His name was Robbie. And I was like, Rob, the way you dance across that road, son, they're going to run you right down. You don't get it. And he's like, he couldn't talk, but in dog language, he kind of intimated that he didn't even understand what I was talking about. It didn't even fathom in his head that the cars would just run him over. He thought they had to stop for him. And didn't have any sentimentality when I heard that Robbie got run over finally by a cement truck. And it was like, he was like 12. He had a few good years left, but, he always thought the truck would stop. The truck always stopped, and then finally one day it did not stop, and he was sent, to the early beyond. But anyway, so I didn't have any sentimentality. I was like, Robbie, he's stupid, Robbie was so smart. He's twice as smart as me. I'm a talking dog, and he was smarter than me, believe me. But Robbie, when it came to the road, he had no sense and no sensibility. He didn't have no common sense. He had, he was like what you would say if he didn't study no books, but if he went to canine obedience school or something, they would give him all the brochures, and they would give him a gold collar because he'd be so damn smart. He'd be leading the pack, I'm saying. But as far as it was crossing the road, Robbie thought all the cars were supposed to stop for him. And so he got plowed over by a cement truck and just obliterated. I didn't have any sentimentality. And there's a difference between a human and a dog. I later found out that Robbie was, it wasn't that he wasn't so cognizant of the fact that he could get run over. It wasn't that he didn't fear the cars. It was that Robbie was one of them dogs that they set out. Robbie was a smart dog that everybody loved at the house, but they got a new job. They were moving. They said, we're going to set Robbie out in a nice neighborhood where he get a new home. But it was really traumatic for Robbie. So every time Robbie got near a road, he thought he was supposed to sit right in the middle of it and wait for his master to come back. It was really this haunting, horrifying thing, when you finally found out about it. You're like, holy shit. I wish I would have been a little bit sentimental. But, the funny thing was, it was after the fact, so I couldn't even, whip up any sentimentality over the whole thing. That's how unsentimental dogs can be. I found out that Robbie had a psychological barrier that made him a blind spot. He had a blind spot to the road, and it was because of traumatic trauma. It was one of them things where you have a traumatization. He was set out. His master said, hey, get out of the car. We love you. Goodbye. I'll never see you again. He's like, what the fuck? What? They're driving away? What? I'm so what? Woo, they got to be coming back. And that's what they do, too. Believe me, I know a few guys that have been set out. They sit there and they look forever. They pine. They're like, you're coming back. Every car they look at. And that's what Robbie do. He looked at every car. Is this my master? Even when he had a new master and he was happy in a new home, he still looked for his old master. He's like staring into each car like, oh, my God, are these the guys that are coming back to get me finally? It was really sad. But it didn't really harness up or give me any boost to sentimentality. I don't think dogs are all that sentimental. The other thing about dogs is we don't really fear death, all right? We have our dog remembrance. We can go into somebody's, mindset and, see somebody in their deathbed vividly, and we can experience death. So whatever, we see death a few times in our dog remembrance, like, oh, well, whatever, que sera, sera. But dogs don't fear death like humans. Humans fear death. Like, they're like, holy shit, did you hear in 250 million years, Pangea is going to reform it. It's going to be an uninhabitable wasteland. Oh, yeah. I saw something about that in a blurb on my phone. And then I remembered I won't be here in 250 million years, so I wasn't too concerned about it. Whatever. Humans are so stupid. They're like, oh, my God, the sun's going to burn out. Yeah, the sun is going to burn out. You won't be here. You may be in heaven. You may be in paradise. Pray to God you're no place nasty. Or you might just be asleep. Who knows what you're going to be doing. But you ain't going to be here when the sun blows up. So don't worry about it. That is something you got to concern yourself with. As an idiotic, stupid dog, I'm like, listen, bud, you don't got to think about it. Just get a good night's sleep. God, heaven forbid, whatever. That's the good thing about being a dog. We're not concerned about the small shit. 250 million years from now, God bless us.